Great. Thanks, everyone. Welcome to the South Shore Women's Business Network quarterly meeting. We've got the first quarter of 2023 to talk about this morning. I've got a lot to talk about, so I'm going to open up my presentation and share that. And there we go. So, first quarter 2023, this has been my first quarter as the new president of the South Shore Women's Business Network. It's been an exciting quarter, and let me tell you a little bit more about it. Let's see. Flip all the way back to the beginning. Well, this isn't awkward at all, is it? So we have been talking and kind of laughing this morning about the fact that this is my first time making this presentation. So that's always exciting, isn't it? The first quarter has been absolutely fantastic. We've had a lot going on, but this morning, this is our schedule. I'll be presenting for just a couple of minutes. Then we will do room introductions. And I'm going to ask people to keep that to 1 minute this morning because we have quite a few people in the room. We want to make sure we have enough time for everyone to just present about their business themselves, and say your name, your business, and basically what you do, and that'll be great. Then we'll have our featured speaker this morning, Michele Morris. And I know you've all signed up and you saw what she's going to talk about. We're excited to have that happen this morning. And then we'll talk about and have a presentation by Erin Cohen, who is our quarterly charity representative from Road to Responsibility. So we'll be talking about that later too. This has been an amazing quarter for SSWBN. We hosted 7 events. We've added 18 new members in the past 3 months, and that has been challenging and exciting and all of that. It's really been something. We're very thrilled to have that many new members. Welcome to all of the new members who have joined us this morning. We're very excited to have you here. The South Shore Women's Business Network was founded years ago as a place for women to get together for coaching, contacts, collaboration, and community. That's still our 4 pillars. And the community aspect is, of course, having that quarterly charity and being able to have all of our events during the quarter benefit that charity. Having the contacts is having one-on-ones with people and then getting to know people in the network and collaborate with them and perhaps do some outreach and get some coaching on your own business. So if you have a question about, finances or something and you want to talk with somebody, in a financial area, right, there are contacts right here in the directory in the South Shore Women's Business Network. So we encourage you to really make the network work for you by reaching out, doing those one-on-ones and getting to know one another. So here are some of the events that we had this first quarter. This was back in January. This was at Cravings Cafe in Kingston, which is one of our regular spots to have events. So we've got something coming up in April at Cravings, and I hope you can join us. It's going to be great. This was a lot of fun. This was a joint effort between this bookstore, Books and Sundry in Plymouth, and the SSWBN. And our board member, Manessa Konecki, made this happen, and it was a great deal of fun. This was in February at Balanced Nutrition in Marshfield, and Donna Dunlop did a great job presenting to us about all of the products that we use and the potential for harming ourselves with those products. Then in February, again, we were with Michele Levanchi in Pembroke at her beautiful Sacred Holistic Healing studio. That was a lovely evening. Retirement planning for the entrepreneur happened just at the beginning of March. This was in Braintree with guest speaker Laura Bradeen, who's also a board member. And that was a really great session. Small, but this is the kind of in-person event that we love to have where people really get to know one another. And we had a lot of people, reaching out to one another afterwards to have one-on-ones and get that conversation going. This was our most recent event at Shelley's Tea Room. You can see the smiling faces. We all had a blast at this event because it was a very informal event. It was really just a social event. get together, have some tea, have some conversation around the table. It wasn't all business, and it was a lot of fun. We'll definitely be going back to Shelley's Tea Room. That was a great experience. And this is what we're doing today. We're going to be hearing about the history of cannabis and learning about the root of the current stigma from Michele Morris, who's here today from Whole Flower Consulting. And this is coming up. Board member Patricia Lynch is going to be doing a talk about new opportunities for first-time home buyers. She's with Bluestone Bank. And that's, again, going to be at Cravings Cafe in Plymouth. I know we already have about 10 people signed up. We try to limit that to about 15 because it's kind of a small space, but it's a lot of fun. So when you're a South Shore Women's Business Network member, you can share your upcoming events to our Facebook page. This is what we call our Amplify program, and you can see some of the events that we've highlighted in this past quarter. This is a great way for you to share your business news and upcoming, charitable events or whatever you've got going on, or workshop or anything, to all of our Facebook followers. We have about 2,000 Facebook followers. So this is really a big part of your membership to, get the word out about what you're doing. And if you would like to help, we are looking to fill a couple of positions, either volunteer positions. We need help with someone creating and posting social media. So that would be upcoming events. Maybe you'd like to try your hand at creating some inspirational posts. We would love to have someone take that over. We have a Canva Pro account with SSWBN, and we would add you as a team member, and you could just go right ahead and really have free reign to develop your own little program there. And we would love that help because right now, some of our board members are kind of trying to fill that in, and sometimes it's a hit and sometimes it's a miss, frankly. So we've got to get better control of that, and we would love some help doing that. I'm happy to teach you anything you need to know. Happy to teach you. And also sending out emails, announcements, and reminders about upcoming events. It would be great to have someone else doing that, because right now I'm doing that. So I would love to have help with that. So if you have a little spare time and would love to help out the network, we would love to have some help. You can just send us an email, send me an email at info@sswbn.org.
Lynn, can I jump in really quick about that slide? I just want to share something really like that. My own experience of being a volunteer on the board is that. So one of the things that I learned over the last, because I've been a member of SSWN for about a year, and I've been on the board for about 3 months, like not super long at all. But what I found is that by being on the board, my presence in the South Shore is really amplified. And so it's actually almost like, 10x advertising. It's like you ate the mushroom from Mario Brothers, right? You've gotten big because now, like, you've got a name associated with the South Shore Women's Business Network that has already got decades of established reputation that then you borrow upon, and then people will immediately trust you. So if you're looking for an acceleration to your marketing, so like your marketing things are going well, and you're like, listen, I just want to blow through this ceiling that I'm at, this will help, because you will be then borrowing on the entire lifetime reputation of the South Shore Women's Business Network. So it's a really good idea, if you are looking to amplify your marketing, to jump in as a board member to be able to get that bump.
Thanks so much, Vanessa. I appreciate that. There's a testimonial for you folks. I mean, it really does work. And I can tell you that being president of the network has really lifted me up, and now I can go to any chamber event or anything like that, mention that I'm the president of this network, and they want to know more. So we're growing the network. It's an exciting time. We ask that there's 10 or so of you in the audience today who are not members. Please consider joining us, because to me, we have a rather low admission. And I think that it's really, really worth it. If you go to some live events, go to events like this where you're able to introduce yourself, make some connections, follow this formula of contact, coaching, collaboration, and community, and you'll find that you're able to grow your business that much faster. So thanks very much. for watching my little slideshow. I appreciate that, everybody. And now we are off to the races with introductions. And I'll run the introductions. And what I ask is that you keep it to about a minute. You know, I won't be holding up a timer or anything like that. But if I find that you're going, you know, way past a minute, I'm going to be saying thank you or something, you know. So just be aware of that as we go forward. And I'll be doing this, I think, alphabetically. So I'll be going by the participants list, because the thing is, if somebody mutes or whatever, all of a sudden everybody changes around the big squares, and I can get lost pretty quickly. So I'm just going to be doing it alphabetically. And so I'm going to be starting actually with, it's funny that she's at the top of my list here, Donna Emschweiler. I don't know how you got here at the very top of the list. That's not alphabetical. Bad you, Donna. But go ahead, Donna Emschweiler. Thank you very much. Oh, and board members, please mention that you're a board member. We would love that. Thank you.
My name is Donna. I do Mary Kay, and I do skincare, fragrance, and any body care and anything in between. I'm a liaison from the board to the Metro Chamber of Commerce. So you will see they've got a gaggle of upcoming events, and I don't know who's the liaison to the Plymouth Chamber of Commerce, but they're also another active group. And they have a really big program, April 27th. So I'll get all that information out to you, so it can be posted on the Facebook page.
Excellent. Thank you, Donna. Barbara A., I have you next, and I don't know why you're not in alphabetical order, but go ahead, Barbara A.
Hi, Lynn. Yes. Hi, everybody. My name is Barbara Aott. I'm actually retired now, and I've been a former member of SSWN. I think it's a great way not only to display your business, but also to learn about businesses. And I always like to support women businesses. And so even though I'm retired, I like to be part of this organization so I can learn about what you do and I can support your business.
That's great. Thanks very much, Barbara. And next up, we have Sheila Barber.
Hello, everyone. I'll start off by saying, yes, I am a board member. That was, it is like a nervous thing, but then when you get on, it's wonderful to know like that these events are happening and that the ideas are considered when you talk about it, and hey, let's make it work. Just like when you saw pictures of the focus group, that was one of the focus chat there at Cravings. That was one of the first times I had gone and was super nervous, but anyone said about their business was like, do it, go for it, whatever. Like, it wasn't like that would never happen and like, forget it. You know what I mean? It's always positive leaving. And I am Sheila Barber from Barber Home Inspections. We are a local home inspection company. My husband and I are a husband and wife team on the South Shore. We do serve Massachusetts, and we're happy to cater to our clients' needs. It's a nervous time right now, and definitely reach out to us. I've put my info in the chat. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Sheila. Allison Guido, past president of the SSWBN.
Hi, I'm Allison from Almar Building and Remodeling Company. We are a third generation residential remodeling company. My grandfather started in the 50s. I'm a past president of the network, and I've been a member for over 20 years. So if you have questions about whether it's a good fit or not, I'm happy to answer them. We do everything from windows and doors right through design, build, kitchens, baths, additions, and custom homes. I have an ask today. If people know anybody, I have 2 open positions on my team right now, one for a project manager and one for an administrative assistant to work with our production team. So if you know somebody who might be a good fit, please have them contact me. Thanks.
Oh, thanks, Allison. That's a fantastic team, and that's a great opportunity for someone. So spread out the word, folks, and see who you can find for Allison. Thanks very much, Allison. Next up is, let's see, Kathy Sloan. Kathy Sloan, are you available to speak? Okay, I guess Kathy
Nope, I'm here. I'm sorry. I wasn't expecting to come up so soon. I was expecting to follow the alphabet.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's alphabetical by first name. So there you go.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a bonus. Hi, I'm Kathy Sloan Gallagher, and I'm a functional nutritional therapist here on the South Shore. My office is in Norwell, and I work with women to address their chronic and persistent health concerns. So I do that through food re-education, nutritional balancing, lifestyle changes, and stress management practices. A couple of my areas of focus are autoimmune and digestive distress. Been practicing for 11 years. And I guess that's it.
Oh, that's wonderful, Kathy. Welcome. Next up, we have Katie Starr. And then
Good
Deb.
morning, everybody. Hi, Lynn. Thank you. Good morning. I'm Katie Starr. I'm a real estate agent with Jack Conway Real Estate here in Plymouth. I know we all know what real estate agents do. I work with buyers and sellers, and if you're in the market, if you're thinking about the market, if you know of anybody that's thinking about the market right now, it's been a little bit challenging, and it's a really interesting market right now. I won't go into any of the details and bore anybody, but if you do know anybody that's looking, I'd love to chat with them and talk to them about the benefits of buying and selling, specifically selling, but certainly the benefits of buying in this market.
Great. Thanks, Katie. I know you've been a member of the network for a few years, and we always appreciate having you here. Great.
I have.
Thanks.
I think it's probably been about 7 or 8 years. Yeah.
Wonderful. Deb Gashel is next.
I couldn't unmute for a second. Good morning, everybody. My name is Deb Gashel. Excuse me. I am also on the board, although I'm going to be transitioning off the board. I have loved my time on the board. It's been great, and this is an amazing group. So anybody who is new this morning, welcome, and we're happy to have you. And you will really not find a more supportive, enthusiastic group to surround yourself with. So yay, and good to see people I've been working with for some time now. I am the owner of Message Artist Creative Group. I'm actually sort of transitioning my business. I've been doing this for 10 years on my own, and I have made the radical decision to go back to a full-time job. So I'm in the middle of a job search right now. Just got to, lots of reasons. Don't need to tell you all of them. But I love this group, want to continue to support SSWBN. And and if you are looking for, marketing, content help, branding help, even if I'm not available, I certainly have a network of professionals who are high quality and could help you out. So feel free to reach out.
Thanks, Deb. That's fantastic. We've really enjoyed having Deb on the board. She has made so many really solid contributions to us in terms of our messaging and our marketing of SSWBN. And it's so important to make sure that you are blasting out the right message to reach your clients who are out there desperately searching for you. And Deb can certainly hook you up with someone who's going to help you do just that. Donna, you are next. Donna Dunlop, that is. And then Erin Cohen after that.
Hi, everyone. Donna Dunlap from Beauty Counter. What I wanted to share with many of you that weren't at my event at that a few weeks ago, that we focus on clean beauty, and our focus is to educate, advocate, and formulate safer products for everyone. So we are the leaders in clean. We ban 2,800 ingredients from our products, and the US only bans 30. So my focus is to really educate people on removing those chemical toxins from your home so that you can live a healthier, happier life. So right now I'm looking to do lunch and learns, one-on-ones with people, looking to talk to people that have wellness centers, just anyone that wants to learn about having safer ingredients in their products.
Great. Thanks, Donna. Next up, we have Erin Cohen, who is one of our speakers today. But Erin, I'd like you to just come on and introduce yourself, please.
Thanks, Lynn. Good morning, everybody. My name is Erin Cohen. I'm the Director of Development at Road to Responsibility. So you will hear all about us later, but in short, we are a nonprofit organization serving adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities throughout Southeastern Massachusetts. So I look forward to telling you more about who we are and what we do. Thank you.
Short and sweet. Thank you, Erin. We look forward to hearing a lot more from you. Next up, we have Gina. Gina, are you available to speak? I see that I can't see you on the screen. Gina? Well, we'll come back to Gina. Next then is Jamie Doherty.
Hi guys, I'm Jamie. I'm the owner of Empowering Athletes. We're a athletic training healthcare facility. We focus on injury prevention, injury rehab, and strength and conditioning. We use a variety of tools for mobility, cupping, myofascial, any hands-on stuff combined with strength training and exercises and mobility tools. And we work with ages from anywhere from like around 9 to adults. So if you have any areas that you need to work on in your body or want to get stronger or improve performance, we're here for you. We're located in Pembroke.
Thanks so much, Jamie. Next is Karen and then Kathy.
Erin Pottishman, I take it?
Yes, it is, Karen. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. That's me. I'm Karen Pottishman, and I have a question for you. Ever wonder why things seem to come easily to some people and not to others? Well, the answer is really your energy. And I am a core energy leadership coach, and I work with women to help them become empowered to lead their lives, to live their lives, and love their lives. So if you lead it, you will love it. Look forward to hearing from you guys. Take care.
Thanks, Karen. Love that. I had a women's leadership conference that I led at my former company, and our theme was lead at any level, with the idea that you lead your own life, right?
Exactly.
So,
Thank
right.
you.
It's an active verb. Next up, Kathy Ballerini. Come on.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome. My name is Kathy Ballerini. I am the event coordinator for South Shore, Business Women's Network. I am also the owner of Explore and Exhale Travel. So your life is busy, and when you want to go away, you want to go someplace relaxing, or maybe you're into adventure type vacations. Anything that you can possibly think of, I can help you with. So I take care of all of the planning for obviously your airfare, your lodging, excursions, all that exciting stuff. All you have to do is just pack your bags and get ready to board that plane, train, automobile, or even that cruise ship. So reach out to me for all your business travel needs. Thanks.
I don't know about anybody else, but I'm ready to get on something and get out of here. Spring is not happening fast enough for me, I think. That's my problem. Next up, we have Kim Marchand and then Leanne Welch.
Thank you, Lynn. Good morning, everyone. And I am totally with you. I'm like daydreaming of a beach somewhere warm. So I'm there. Take me away, Kathy. Let's talk. Anyway, this is my first meeting with the South Shore Women's Business Network. Very excited to be here. My firm is Marchand CFO. We do financial services, support, bookkeeping and payroll, all the way up to CFO services for small businesses and nonprofits. We have a special emphasis on lifting and coaching women in business. So if you want any advice, give me a call.
Thanks, Kim. Next up, we have, so see, things changed. This is saying Marianne Blackmer is next, but I know I just said someone else's name. So Marianne, let's go with you. We'll find out who I missed.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. My name is Marianne Blackmer. I have a lot going on. I'm currently in a job search for 6 months. I've never been unemployed for 6 months, so it's really challenging. So if you have any open positions, give me a call, but don't be too overwhelmed by my next. I have a lot of different hats. I'm on the board of Road to Responsibility, so thank you very much. I am actually the associate publisher of the South Shore magazine, along with my husband, Stan. And while I've been unemployed, I got my realtor license and started a little consulting business because I cannot sit around. And I joined the South Shore Women's Business Network. So there's a lot to unpack there, but basically you live on the South Shore, work on the South Shore. If you have any questions about how you can market your business, elevate it. The South Shore Magazine is a direct mail publication. We've been around for 24 years. SouthShoreMagazine.com if you want to know any more about that. And thank you so much. Just really enjoy being part of this group. Women are very supportive. Thank you.
Thanks, Marianne. Next up, we have Matthew and then Michele Morris.
So I am Matthew Martin. We do End Hunger New England. We pack meals like this. This is our most popular. This is my favorite. There are 10 kinds, and they go to little kids, elderly, veterans, people that are hungry around here. 5% of our meals go to Ukraine for refugees, and we're going to feed 5 million people this year. So we are your third quarter charity. Thank you.
That's right. We are excited to have you here, Matthew. Thanks so much. Michele?
Hi, everyone. This is such an amazing group. There is such a depth of talent here. So I'm Michele Morris. I've been practicing registered nurse for 25 years in the traditional healthcare setting, but I'm also very passionate about plant medicine. So about 4 years ago, I began to help others on their journeys, their health journeys, by integrating cannabis, which actually includes CBD as well, and hemp. How I do this is multifaceted. So I educate and coach clients one-on-one, as well as doing community education like this that I'm doing here today. I guide clients on product selection and then how to actually use products, which is really important. And I also mentor other people, especially nurses and healthcare professionals, on becoming wellness entrepreneurs themselves.
Great. Thanks, Michele. We'll be hearing a lot more from you shortly. So welcome. Okay, so next is Vanessa and then Pam.
Hello, everyone. I'm Vanessa Konecki. I am the membership chair. I've talked to probably almost all of you at some point. If I have not, and you have us, and you're interested in joining with the SSWN, which I know you are after being here, message me, talk to me, and I can get you signed up, and then we'll go have a lunch together. It'll be fab. But about me, I have recently closed down my business because I wanted to separate my mission from my income. And my mission work is I am the host of the podcast Stop Shitting All Over Yourself, which is about us letting go of the programming that we were taught growing up about the way we were supposed to be, how you're supposed to act, how you're supposed to dress, all of those things, because all of those rules are made up. At some point, I realized those are all made up and we get to decide what our rules are. So my podcast is all about us figuring out what are our rules that we want to live by for ourselves and shed these shoulds from everyone else. For my job now, I am a research administrator at the Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center, where I manage research and finance for, oh my God, it's my dream job. I used to work there years ago and I wanted to come back. And now I was so excited that I have that opportunity. The reason I wanted to bring that up, though, is if you are familiar with research administration or are looking for a career in research administration and if you've ever run a business, you can do a research admin job. I can tell you, I've been doing it for 25 years. If you run a business, you can do this. If you're looking for a full-time gig, message me, and because we're looking for 3 research administrators and I will be your trainer. So that is part of the bonus of signing up for that. So just send me a message if you're curious, or if you're looking for a gig, or if you know someone who is a research administrator who is looking for a job, send them my way.
Cool. Thanks so much, Vanessa. We love having Vanessa on the board. She is the first person who reaches out to new members when they join SSWBN, and yeah, we love having that be our first connection. Thanks so much, Vanessa. I see Katie Kearney is in the house. Katie, somehow I missed you in the alphabetical order here. If you'd like to jump in, I would appreciate that. And then we'll have Pam.
You may not have. I went from being on a phone to being on the computer. So you may have said me and I was in Neverland. But my name is Katie Kearney, and I am an event coordinator for the Plymouth Public Library Foundation. I am also a liaison for SSWBN for the Plymouth Chamber of Commerce. So if anybody's interested in a chamber event that they would like to attend, please know you're more than welcome to come as my guest. and SSWBN does have an account. So yeah, so if anybody has any questions, they have a lot going on. And they've just more than I can keep up with. But I'm an event coordinator, so I raise money for the Plymouth Public Library for all the wonderful programs that we do here. So, and which I've also thrown out to people at the library, different people that are talking about having events. Don't pay to have your event somewhere. Have it at the library. There's all kinds of rooms here. It's free. You can bring in, you know, food and drink and whatever else. So, you know, just contact me and I'd be more than happy to help you. But welcome to anybody who's new. I've been on for over a year, a little over a year, and I love it. I've met the nicest people.
And you will find out that Katie is a master networker. So yeah, definitely schedule a one-on-one with her because you will want to know everyone that she knows. Libraries are a tremendous resource in our community, and you know, definitely think of that free space next time you want to have some sort of a event or meeting, because they're there for you. It's a public resource. Thank you so much, Katie. Next we have Pam Cunningham. Good morning.
Good morning. I joined the network probably, I was thinking about it, probably 10 years ago. And somebody coerced me to becoming a board member shortly thereafter. And I was served on the board for 3 or 4 years in different capacities until it was time for me to leave, because there is a limit on your term, so to speak. And that was one of the best experiences I had working with the organization, and I got to know a lot of really, really wonderful people. That said, 2 years ago, I decided to stop working, and I was immediately before that, I was a financial advisor. And one of the reasons I decided to stop working, and I noticed that I'm not using the R word, retirement, and I'll explain that. But I decided that life is too short, and my husband and I want to do more and travel, et cetera, which we have started to do happily. And so anyway, I knew that I had to keep busy, and I knew that I wanted to keep my mind active. So I immediately started looking for volunteer activities. So due to COVID, it was kind of hard to find some of those positions, but I did, and I am now a certified SHINE counselor, and many of you who deal with the elderly probably know what that is. It is a volunteer position that's state-run, stands for serving the health insurance needs of everyone. And I work out of a senior center, as do all SHINE counselors, where I help people navigate the complexities and unravel those complexities on Medicare. And went through 6 weeks of training about it last year, passed the exam, have to do recertification every year. And I'm just loving it. It's challenging. There's a lot to know, but I feel that I am, you know, continuing and made a great segue to using the talent that I have with coaching and guiding people on important decisions in their lives. That said, instead of using the word retire, I call the retirement reinvention. So I like the R word, but not the retirement. So I'm reinventing myself with volunteer opportunities, including also working at the Wellspring thrift shop. And I'm loving that. I work with a bunch of wonderful women, and it's just a fun time. So having a blast, and look forward to be attending more events with SSWBN.
Oh, that's great. Pam, I have to say that I think that you were one of the first people I met when I joined the network years ago.
I remember being at that event. We were at, I think we were at Pine Hill.
Yes.
We were at the same table, and you were looking for a job, and you were sort of, you know, down and out, so to speak. And I just said, keep going at it. Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That was a good day. The good day I met you and SSWBN. So next we have Randy, and then I'm going to switch over to the L's that I missed. I guess I missed Leanne and Laurie. So we'll have Randy, then Leanne, then Laurie.
Oh, I don't mind if they go first.
No, that's okay, Randy. You go.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, my name's Randy Veraguas. I used to be a member and I loved it, and thinking about joining again. So when I saw this, I was so excited because I'm in healthcare and this subject is really cool. I work for a primary care practice that only does house calls. And we bill insurance, so we don't take private pay. We can see a new patient within 2 weeks. And we really believe in treating the person holistically, and we think seniors are on too many meds. We're owned by a gentleman who has a doctorate in pharmacology. Yeah, exactly. And so he'll do like intense med reconciliations and try to get the seniors off a lot of the medications. And we try to be really proactive instead of reactive. It's just wonderful. So I'm excited, Michele, to hear you. Pam, I'm so excited that you're a Shine counselor. That's wonderful. And it's called Boston Senior Medicine. All my information is in the chat bar, and they've been around for 7 years. And so here's our tagline: healthy, sick, or feeling blue, this primary care comes to you. So don't delay. Call today. It's primary care. Insurance will pay.
Awesome.
Thanks.
I love it.
Love it.
Memorable tagline. Thank you so much, Randy.
My pleasure.
And welcome. And I do hope you become a member. It's gonna be fun to get to know you. Next is Leanne Welch, and then Lori.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Leanne Welch from Welch Senior Living. I'm the Director of Community Relations for our communities. We have independent living, assisted living, and memory care on the South Shore. We've been serving seniors over 70 years. We're family owned and operated. I always say that grateful, blessed, and thankful. I am 4th generation. So I just wanted to shout out, and Laurie Guthrie will be going after, and I have Shannon Fergerin going as well. So we are brand new members. So you'll be seeing a lot of us. So I do have a wonderful team all throughout our communities. We're in Weymouth, Hingham, Marshfield, and Duxbury. So I'm looking forward to collaborating, networking, meeting all you, making some great connections. Leanne Welch, Welch Senior Living. Nice to see everyone. Thank you.
Leanne, welcome. We're glad that you've joined us, and look forward to getting to know you. Next up, we have Laurie.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. Excited to be here. Like Leanne said, we're new members. She gave you a nice introduction to Welch Senior Living. I am the Senior Clinical Social Worker and Regional Memory Care Coordinator for Welch Senior Living. So I am lucky enough to provide social work support to residents, their family members, and staff in a few of the buildings. And also I get to work with our memory care program directors and life enrichment coordinators to make sure we are providing our residents the highest quality of life in our buildings. So I'm excited to be a part of this network, and thank Leanne for bringing me along.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm so glad you're here. Shannon, are you available? And then Sheila Sullivan Chardon.
Or good morning, everyone. My name is Shannon Finerjian. I am the Regional Director of Resident Care and Compliance for Welch Senior Living. As Leanne and Lori both mentioned, brand new to this platform, but excited about the opportunity to work with such a diverse group here. So I work with our wellness team. I oversee all of the wellness departments with Welch, but I'm a nurse by trade. I've been a nurse for over 15 years, and my passion is people and really focused on enhancing the quality of life for our seniors. And thank you for having me here.
Oh, thanks, Shannon. Well, Welch, the triple play this morning. Good job. Good job, team. We love to see that. Next up, let's see, we had Sheila, okay, Sheila Sullivan Jardine, and then Sherry Damon.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sheila Sullivan Jardim. I'm the Executive Director at the Mass Hire Greater Brockton Workforce Investment Board. And I know that's quite a mouthful. We are an agency that serves as an agent for the Department of Labor for employment and training opportunities. We fund a variety of programs for career awareness for youth between the ages of 14 and 24. We run the summer jobs program, which is close to 400 youth over the summer. So that's always a great challenge. But we are also available for employers to apply for grants, to apply for different types of funding, posting jobs. employment, et cetera. And all of our services are at no cost, as we are, as I said, funded by the Department of Labor. So welcome. Looking forward to this morning's topic, and good morning.
Great. Thanks, Sheila. It's a great morning to be sharing a lot of information with each other and making connections. So I see a lot of you are sharing your information in the chat. I encourage you, if you haven't already, put your name, your email, or your website or something in there so that people can follow up and connect with you. That would be very helpful. Okay, great. And next, do we have, I guess, Wendy Jerkins. I think you might be the last one, but if I'm wrong,
me.
Shree, I'm sorry. Go right ahead. Sure. And then Wendy.
I was all ready because you said I was next.
No, I'm glad. I'm glad you're ready. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sherry Damon, psychotherapist and wellness teacher of a great big huge team of people on our tiny little therapeutic farm in Marshfield, treating mental health and eating disorders. We have a life coach, we have nutritionists, we have therapists, do groups, all kinds of different things. We also just launched a nonprofit arm to try to really help rescue people and animals. So good morning, everyone.
Thanks, Sherry. That's great. I do look forward to visiting your farm. I think that's a fantastic program. Wendy Jerkins, I believe you might be the last one. And if I'm wrong, somebody wave your hand and let me know, because it's easy with this many people on the two screens to lose track of somebody.
It sure is. Thank you. Thank you, Lynn. Wendy Jergens with Relive International. I live in Norton, Massachusetts, and I figured the best way to explain what I do is through nutritional supplements. I met with a woman the other day who has a grandson who I met, 3 years old. He's been labeled the Tasmanian devil. And ADD in a serious way, born to a drug addict mother and has been adopted. And so they asked me if I would bring a product over so he could try it. And we gave him a shake, chocolate. He loved it. And after I left, which was about 20 minutes after he finished his shake, they said that he was sitting on the couch looking at a book. And they looked at him like, who is this kid? So that quickly he got results. So I am looking forward to changing this kid's life. And I'm also working with someone researching Lyme disease. I've got a ton of stories through hundreds of resources. I've got other distributors in the company. And if you've got it, I can find it and we can get rid of it. So I love what I do. I love helping people. Tagline is changing lives since 2002. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Wendy. I see we have someone on an iPhone, and if you'd like to do an introduction, we'd love to have you. I don't have your name.
Hi, can you hear me? This is Diana. Okay, perfect. I've had so many technical issues, so I'm sorry if I've kind of gone in and out of the meeting a little bit. I am a new member to the Social Women's Business Network. I am Diana Keneally. I was introduced to the group by Katie Starr, who is also on the line. And I'm a former client of Katie's, so thank you very much. Katie does wonderful services. To get back to my role at BNY Mellon, I am part of the ultra high net worth team here within wealth management. My specific role is a private banker. So the past couple of weeks with the banking crisis has been a little bit hectic. However, happy to help out anybody that has any questions, whether it comes to private banking, high net worth planning, trust and estate planning. That's basically what we do. Thank you. This has been a great call so far.
Oh, thanks so much. And is there anyone else here that I've missed? Please say something, because we're about to move on to our subject of the day. Well, I guess not. I guess we're all here. Good. I see the chat is filling up with contact information. Thank you very much for doing that. It makes it much easier. And of course, if you see a member here and you want to know more about them, you can always go to sswbn.org and visit our website and look at our directory. And you can do a search there if you're looking for someone who does taxes or whatever it is that you're looking for. Start there, start at the network, because we're all here to do business and do business with one another as well and make referrals. So I have made Michele Morris the host now of the meeting. So I'm going to switch up the view here to be speaker view. And your iPhone is, you can mute the iPhone, please? Is that possible? Because
like I said, I'm having so many issues. So I'll try to do that. If not, I'll hang up and join again. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Because when I put it on speaker view, I only get you because you're the only person that is, oh, there we go. It's muted. Fantastic. Okay, great. I'm going to put it on speaker view. And once again, why am I just getting you? I don't know why. That's really weird. Okay, in that case, I'm going to pin my friend. If I can find Michele. There you are, Michele. I'm going to pin Michele, and there we go. That will probably work for the recording. And I'd like to introduce Michele Morris of Whole Flower Consulting. We are so excited to have you here today, and you're going to be talking about the history of cannabis and helping us understand the current stigma. And take it away, Michele. Okay, thanks very much.
Oh, there's so much goodness on this call already. I'm going to attempt to share my screen, the IT gremlins. I'm a nurse first. I'm not an IT professional, so just bear with me. Let's see. Okay, can you all see my graphic here with the leaves on it?
Yes, that's perfect.
Okay, great. And everyone can hear me?
Yeah.
Great. Okay. This is my favorite graphic. I just want to start out by saying that I give my promise to all of you that I'm going to be completely transparent with the information that I'm sharing today. All I ask is that you just be open to the information because it's going to challenge a lot of your beliefs, memories that you've had of your past and what the media has shared about cannabis. It can be challenging. It's a lot to digest. So just know I was the same way when I learned all this information, that I've done a lot of due diligence in researching and looking at proper resources to fact check the things that I'm sharing. And I am in full belief and trust that what I'm sharing with you all is indeed the truth. So this is historical information. So thank you in advance for just being open, and for so many of you to spend your morning with me. I'm just in awe. And it just proves that this is a really important topic for all of us. So I share this graphic because it is basically my favorite about cannabis. When we remove the shame from using cannabis, it opens up conversations that can truly be life-changing. As I mentioned earlier, I've been a nurse for 25 years. I only really started to understand the plant better about 4 or 5 years ago. And before that, it was just for cancer patients, or it was just for people that wanted to have a good time. But it is so much more than that. So I'm really into sharing about why there's a stigma, because if you do not understand that, you can't get past it and embrace the plant. Okay, so now that I know better, I can do better. And that's why I'm here to share with all of you. Let me see if I can get yes, great. So our objective today is to actually demystify the root of stigma surrounding this plant. And it's not just a stigma in the United States, it's actually a stigma that's spread throughout the entire world. So why has this plant actually been demonized? Like, where did this start? So I have, just so you know, this is normally a 1-hour presentation that I'm squeezing into 15 minutes. So if I talk fast, you guys can all go back and watch the recording. But this graphic kind of helps you set the stage of where cannabis has been in the history of man. Over 10,000 years ago, cannabis use was discovered in Chinese culture. It's actually documented in pottery, paintings, and lots of carbon-14 dating that was done. Cannabis became pervasive among the actual nomadic tribes that traveled on foot through Central Asia and then traveled into the Middle East and Eastern Europe. So historically, hemp was cultivated and it was made into everything. It was people's food, it was people's fuel, fiber, medicine to treat sickness, Our animals were treated with hemp and cannabis, and they were fed it as well. So it was in the actual food chain that we all partook in. Also made into ropes, nets, and sails for ships. I live in Plymouth. There's a huge building called Cordage Park, where hemp rope was made and sold all over the world for sailing ships. It was a big deal. It was a big commodity. Colonial capitalism and the slave trade actually facilitated the introduction of cannabis to the Americas. So it didn't start here. So here are some fun facts. This is kind of how I learn information, is to have some interesting fun facts to absorb. I did not know this, but the North American Indians were actually responsible for introducing tobacco to the British colonists. So we shared what we now know as cigarettes and chew and all that with the colonists, but the colonists actually introduced cannabis to the North American Indians. The British had a really great interest in cannabis and the economic versatility of hemp. And back in 1619, it's such a useful plant that Virginia state law required landowners to actually grow hemp. If they had a certain amount of land, they had to grow hemp because it was just so valuable for the country and the state at the time. So hemp was fed, as I mentioned, to livestock. It was made into clothing, paper. Our US Constitution is written on hemp source paper, fuel for heating, oil for machinery, go on and on. This is my favorite slide. As a nurse, this blew me away, but actually from 1850 to 1937, cannabis was listed in what at the time was called the pharmacopoeia to treat over 100 separate illnesses. And what we refer to as the pharmacopoeia back then is actually now called the PDR. If you're a medical professional, it's the physician's desk reference. It's a single encompassing resource that all medical professionals refer to when looking at the efficacy and use of medicines. Now it's all online, but when I was in nursing school like 25 years ago, it was a book that was like this thick. And you went on your clinical that morning and you had to flip through and look up the medications that your patients were taking and know everything about them. So cannabis was in that book between 1850 and 1937 in 2,000 different ways under 280 different manufacturers. So historically, cannabis was our medicine in this country. It was a staple medicinal therapy. And at some point, that shifted, and I'm going to explain why. So only 21 of the 157 medical schools polled recently, which is 13%, are now even talking about the endocannabinoid system and science, which is how cannabis works in the body. So we went from everyone using it and everyone recommending it and prescribing it to like less than 20% of medical schools even teaching about the system. So we're going to dive into why cannabis went from being in every household to becoming illegal. So a wise person once told me that if you want to uncover an enigma, you should follow the money trail. So that wise person was actually a medical doctor who could no longer deny the success that his patients were having on their own with the use of cannabis. So he finally decided to educate himself on the plant. And when he did that, his mind was blown. And this happens to all medical professionals when they go down the rabbit hole that is cannabis. Why did I not know about this? I mean, why is this not discussed? Why is this not on the tip of everyone's tongue? So he followed the money trail. And here are some of the political players that we traced down the money trail that led to the prohibition of cannabis in this country. So you'll recognize some of these names. You've got John D. Rockefeller, Andrew Carnegie, William Hearst, and then there's a name you may not recognize, Harry Anslinger. These are all very, very powerful men in their time. And the first three of these men were so extremely wealthy. They were like the richest of the richest at the time. In Newport, Rhode Island, there's all these unbelievably decadent mansions, and these gentlemen owned more than a few of them. So that's the kind of opulence that and power that these gentlemen had at the time. So John D. Rockefeller owned the largest petroleum or oil company in the world. It was called Standard Oil at the time. And now you're going to know it as like ExxonMobil or Chevron. He was actually against hemp ethanol as a fuel because it was actually a threat to his empire. So he was heavily invested in pharmaceuticals and in the new era of modern medicine, what they referred to as modern medicine at the time. And we call that a pill for an ill. And I'll talk about that a little bit in a minute. So involved in pharmaceuticals and petroleum. And then we have Andrew Carnegie, who was actually the Prince of Steel. He was the steel magnate that led to the American expansion of the steel industry, including the railroad and the automotive industry. So he saw Henry Ford and his Model T that was completely manufactured and run on hemp as major competition. He felt very threatened by that. So he started to his own wheels turning and funded something called the Flexner Report that initiated herb and hemp-based treatments. His report that initiated herb-based treatments began to be pushed aside for a pill for an ill. I'm just going to hop to this other slide. So Rockefeller and Carnegie got together. They founded the Flexner Report. So this was this Dr. Flexner. He traveled across the country and basically did inventory of how physicians were practicing medicine at the time. And it was all herbal-based, cannabis-based. You went to an apothecary, they made you a little tincture, and that's what your families took home. And I mean, there was cannabis in almost every concoction at the time. They really wanted to shift that, and they wanted to put more money in their own pockets. So this is where a pill for an ill came about. Both Rockefeller and Carnegie were heavily invested in the pharmaceutical world. There was a personal interest in them seeing pharmaceutical method of healthcare survive and thrive. And that's when these herb-based treatments started to get pushed aside on a grander scale. So think about what I mean for as far as a pill for an ill, just so you're really clear on that. It's when you feel like when you've gone to the doctor, and we all know what this is like now. You go to the doctor, and if you don't leave with a prescription, you feel like you haven't been served. And it wasn't always like this. I'm going to go backward. So Rockefeller and Carnegie, I mentioned, they funded the Flexner Report. I'm sorry, I went a little bit off my notes. And what the other thing I want to say about them funding the Flexner Report and supporting this pill for an ill is that they also funded a huge majority of medical schools in the United States at the time. And these medical schools are still hugely funded by Big Pharma. So in other words, Big Pharma financially backs mainstream medicine education in this country. So if you go back to the fun fact I shared about only 13% of medical schools are educating about the endocannabinoid system, it makes sense now why that is. Getting back to this slide, William Hearst is the third gentleman here, and you may remember him to be the magnate of the newspaper industry at the time. So newspapers were how people got all their information back then. Newspapers were then made out of wood pulp. And so he saw hemp pulp as a threat because it was a low-cost paper alternative. The reason why this is the life cycle, the growing cycle of the hemp plant takes 4 months. It regenerates very quickly. It's a weed. But, you know, tree growth and getting wood pulp to make paper out of trees, that can take 20, 30 years. So hemp is, of course, more sustainable. But Hearst controlled the media outlets at the time with his newspapers, and his role was very pivotal in spreading misinformation about cannabis and hemp. So that kind of helped line his own pockets. So he continued to profit off of his wood pulp paper production and his newspaper industry. The last gentleman on this slide is someone named Harry Anslinger. He was the first commissioner of the United States Treasury Department's Federal Bureau of Narcotics. We now know this as the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Agency. He was in this position for a wicked long time, as we say here in Massachusetts. He served 5 presidents. He was appointed initially by U.S. Secretary of Treasury at that time. That gentleman's name was Richard Mellon, as in Mellon Bank. So many of you, if you take your credit cards out, you look on the back, you might see that they're still related to Mellon Bank. Mellon had a very sizable investment portfolio, and he had investments in all of these industries, in oil, in paper, in mass media, in steel, and also in chemicals that we're going to talk about in a minute. So Anslinger had supported alcohol prohibition, and then when that dissolved, he began to support cannabis prohibition. So imagine that your job was to enforce alcohol prohibition in this country, and then the alcohol prohibition ended and you needed to find another public enemy in order to continue your funding source. So in other words, he needed to keep his job. And he actually took his show on the road and convinced many other governments around the world to adopt the same policies as the United States, demonizing cannabis. So you can see, because we were such a superpower at the time and we had such vast wealth in our country, that it wasn't hard for him to spread the word and get other countries on board. So another important player is this international company called DuPont. And we've all heard of them. I had no idea the depths of DuPont, but they are the world's largest producers of chemicals. And the DuPont brothers came from France, and they developed synthetic fibers, which in the very beginning began with cellophane, which then led to plastics. But you'll know the names of these things: nylon, Teflon, Kevlar, Tyvek, Lycra. I mean, they have thousands and thousands of patents, and many, it just goes on. And they actually saw hemp fiber as a threat as well. So just as an aside, DuPont was actually backed by Mellon Bank too. And for those of you that don't know, you can actually make plastic, biodegradable plastic, out of hemp. So think of what our world would look like if we didn't have petroleum-based plastics contaminating everything, and then if we had only had hemp-based plastics that are biodegradable. Like, so many facets of this have affected all of us. So what we have is a picture painted by a handful of very powerful men whose growing industries were threatened by cannabis. Their influence on our political system led to the Marijuana Tax Act of 1937. So this act solidified the end of cannabis use in the United States, and it was racially motivated, and it actually was pushed along by a masterful smear campaign in the media that made people believe cannabis was only used by heathens. Physicians could not overcome this agenda due to politics and the power of money at the time. And so many politicians were not even aware that they were that hemp was lumped in with cannabis, and so they voted for its criminalization, and they weren't even aware that they were doing it. This act, this Marijuana Tax Act, taxed marijuana and hemp out of practical use. So people could literally not afford to use it or buy it anymore. I'm just going to move along to this. So just another fun fact, if you didn't realize, the word marijuana is actually a derogatory slang word that was used to demonize the plant and perpetuate racism. So this lack of knowledge about the derivation of the word marijuana itself is so pervasive that our legislation is actually written up with the word, like the medical marijuana cards that we can get. Some of the state commissions are changing to the Cannabis Control Commission. We are getting better, but there's so much legislation written with this slang word. And just to be clear, cannabis is actually a proper scientific term for plants classified in the Cannabaceae family. So that includes hemp, marijuana, and several other plants. So this slide talks about how the demonization of cannabis went on of a super grand scale. So there was a propaganda film called Reefer Madness. You may or may not have ever heard of this. That was financed at the time by a Christian conservative group, and it really did an excellent job misinforming the masses that marijuana actually contributed to promiscuity, homicidal and suicidal tendencies. The American Medical Association at the time went to bat before Congress for cannabis to keep it in our formulary, and they just failed because there was such a huge tide of misinformation. You know how that can go with politics. Just a huge tide of greed and misinformation. So what you end up with is 40 years and more than a generation where cannabis was removed from our culture. And if you look at these advertisements, I mean, they're really funny, like the burning weed with its roots in hell. I mean, the deadly scourge that drags our children into the quagmires of degradation. I mean, like, really, this was medicine being prescribed, and now all of a sudden it's dangerous, right? In 1970, so 40 years goes by, in 1970, the Controlled Substance Act was passed. It categorized marijuana right alongside heroin, LSD, PCP as a Schedule I drug. So what that means is that there's absolutely no medical benefits, that it's highly abusive and dangerous. And by doing that, it makes it nearly impossible to do any sort of research study on the drug. At the time, Nixon used this, so President Nixon at the time used the passing of this act as a way to quiet the anti-war movement. So he knew a lot of war protesters were using cannabis, and it was an easy way to jail them and keep them quiet and keep them away from the media. And so that was part of why this act got passed. Another 40 years goes by, okay? So it brings us to about 2018. Another 40 years where cannabis is not really in our culture. Finally, we have some winds of change that begin to blow. And some of you may have heard of the Farm Bill. You may have seen all of a sudden in 2018, there's CBD everywhere. Why? The Farm Bill is officially called the Agricultural Improvement Act of 2018. And this bill legalized hemp federally, just hemp. It authorized production of hemp and removed hemp and hemp seeds from the DEA schedule of controlled substances. What's funny about this is hemp seeds were lumped in because they were part of the hemp plant. Hemp seeds are food. There's no medicinal quality in hemp seeds. So they didn't just ban cannabis as medicine, they banned it as food, like fiber, like everything. It's just crazy. This act directed the U.S. Department of Agriculture, or the USDA, to issue regulations and guidance to implement programs to create consistent regulatory framework around the production of hemp throughout the United States. So the establishment of hemp as a regulated commodity paved the way for many U.S. farmers to participate in other USDA farm programs. So, you know, politicians love to support farmers. So this was something that our politics could kind of wrap its arms around and get behind. And it was like the way to really open the door federally to thinking more about hemp and cannabis.
Hey, Michele, I'm going to have you wrap up in like 2 minutes, okay?
Yep.
Thanks.
So where are we now? We've got 25 states and territories that have recreational marijuana legal and 37 that have it medically legal. I'm going to skip my whole timeline of review, right, if I don't have much time to finish up. But basically what you have is, this is the quick and dirty on cannabis, and I'm sorry, it's a lot of information to jam into 15 minutes, but because of greed and power of a few ultra-rich Americans, the majority of the modern world has been separated from what just might be the most beneficial and versatile plant that grows on this planet. So many have suffered and continue to suffer because of this fraud in so many ways. And so it's long overdue for us to just talk about this more, bust the untruths, and get back to working on the fascinating science of this plant called cannabis. And I'll close there.
Michele, I love you. Oh my God, I love this so much. Cannabis is so dear to my heart. So having you come and speak today is like, I'm so happy. I hope that everybody got out of this was sort of like what I got out of it 8 years ago when I started to realize that cannabis was going to help me a lot. I'm so glad that you were here. Thanks, Michele.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And this was really hard for me to get into 15 minutes. So
Well,
Thank
I
you for-
wanted to actually suggest something that, you know, because everybody seems really interested and you and I were having this conversation and we did that social with the Shelley's Tea Room, that what I could do is do like something informal that's not, you know, that's not like SSWBN sort of like sponsored type thing, but basically gather everybody together and be like, let's hang out. We can talk about this a little more. And maybe, you know, it's because I know that people want to know things like, how do I use it? Where should I go to buy it? Stuff like that. And I feel like having that conversation might be super helpful. So if anyone is interested in that, drop your email, let me know you're interested and I can get something together for us. Because, you know, I'm 100% weed all the time.
Love it.
Great. Well, this is watching the power of the network in action right here, folks, live on your screen. It's a fascinating thing to watch. Thank you so much, Michele. That was very informative. I think we all learned something about the history. And like Vanessa said, man, it was all those white guys back then making decisions for all of us. Kind of amazing. But anyway, what I'd like to do now is turn it over to Erin. Erin, do you have slides or anything that you're going to share with us this morning? Do you need to share your screen?
I do, yes. That way you can.
Okay.
Look at
So
some
Michele, I'm
pictures
going to
instead
have
of me.
Michele, I'm going to have you make her host, please. Okay.
I'm sorry. Who am I
That's
making?
okay.
Who am I
Erin
making?
Cohen. Erin Cohen
All
needs
right,
to be
gotta
made
find you. Okay,
host.
here you are.
Okay. Great. And Erin, I'm going to pin you. Great.
It's not letting me do, you know what? I think I made you host, Lynn. Do you want to try?
I will try that. Okay, great. Guys, you're watching this unfold live in person right here.
Not
So
the
it said,
IT
"Lynn,
professional,
host." Okay,
truly.
great. All right, so great. I was flipping it over to you, Erin. Great. I'm changing it. Perfect. Thanks very much, Erin. Take it away for us. And super. Thank you.
Is everybody able to see that?
Yes, we can. It looks good.
Perfect. That's great. Well, first of all, thank you very much to the network for inviting Road to Responsibility to be a charity partner this quarter and also just be able to speak to all of you. This is very important for what we do, just to be able to spread our mission and educate the community. So thank you for the opportunity. Road to Responsibility is a nonprofit organization. We serve individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities, ages 22 and above. So we offer adult services. We were founded in 1988 with a mission to make lives better for these individuals with disabilities and provide them the opportunity to take their place as rightful members in our communities. We are funded by the state of Massachusetts for the majority of our programs. But obviously I will talk a little bit about that later as to how private dollars help us go above and beyond. As individuals age out of the public school system with the services that they're currently getting, that's when they start to begin to look at adult service providers. So Road to Responsibility is one of many. Thankfully, here in Massachusetts, we're very fortunate to have lots of providers. So we are simply one of those adult service providers. We serve individuals all over the spectrum of Down syndrome, autism, behavioral and mental health challenges, acquired brain injuries, folks that have had strokes, and many more. The map on the left here is a little bit about our service area. We are based out of Marshfield. It's really the heart of where we began and operated. Marshfield is our home, but we are Milton down to Plymouth out to Taunton. We operate our services really in 4 different buckets of what we have. Mainly, we are known for our residential services. We have 49 residential homes throughout our catchment area, plus cooperative and supported living apartments. These residential homes that I mentioned are group homes, 4 to 5 individuals living in a residence, mostly staffed 24/7. Some of them, depending on their independence level, they have certain hours of independent time in the home. That sort of depends on their level of ability and how long they've been with us too. Some homes start out being staffed 24/7, and as they grow in independence, they gain that alone time. We also operate 4 day habilitation programs. Those are called our open roads programs in Hingham, Norwell, Plymouth, and Middleborough. And those programs are more for individuals that have severe medical challenges. We offer therapeutic services, occupational therapists, speech therapists, and those programs, they mainly stay in the building for the entirety of the day. Whereas on the opposite end of the spectrum, our other 4-day programs that we offer in Marshfield, Taunton, Braintree, and Plymouth are really about community integration. So those are community-based day services, and the goal is to get the individuals out and about. So whether that is through employment or volunteer opportunities, we do Meals on Wheels, we do gardening in the local communities. A lot of these individuals are employed, or we have group employment. Group employment through these community-based day services is 4 or 5 individuals with 1 staff member will go to a place of employment for a couple hours throughout the day. And we are basically there to oversee them so that it's not more cumbersome on the place of employment. Whereas the 4th bucket of what we do is job placement services. And that is career specialists working with individuals to figure out what they're interested in, what their skill sets are, and getting them competitive employment and individual jobs. We are very proud of the clinical approach that we have on staff. We have over 800 employees, clinical staff, nurses. We have our whole maintenance team is internal, of course, the typical finance, HR. We have a robust training department as well. So all staff get their trainings internally with us. That helps them really advance their career as well. And we love to hire internally. Unfortunately, at the moment right now, we have over 250 vacancies. We are really being hit hard by the workforce crisis. And a lot of that is due to the funding that we receive from the state. We're offering a starting pay of $17 an hour, which of course becomes extremely competitive when you could go down the street to Target or Dunkin' Donuts. You don't have somebody's life in your hands and you're making more money. So we're really feeling the workforce crisis internally. So if anybody wants a job in human services or knows anybody, I'll throw in my plug. Please feel free to refer them to Road to Responsibility. We were recently voted one of Cape and Plymouth Business Media's best places to work. We are very proud of that. We also are proud that we have a very diverse workforce. We have staff from over 34 different countries. And the picture that I have in the bottom there is one of our training rooms in Norwell. We recently hung up all of the flags to represent the countries of the staff that we have. So really just trying to be inclusive of all of their various backgrounds. We are starting a partnership with Babbel to get individuals who English is their 2nd or 3rd or 4th speaking language to support them and really embrace our diverse workforce that we have. And over the past few years, really as a result of the pandemic, we've put a large focus on technology, the things that technology can do for you and I, but for an individual with disabilities is amazing. It really helps promote their independence. So in June of 2021, we unveiled our first smart home in Norwell. This is completely outfitted with a lot of Alexa products. Everything is really run mostly through Alexa, but lights, blinds, TVs, smart appliances, just giving the individuals in this home the opportunity to do things that they may not have been able to do. Individuals in wheelchairs can't reach the light switch, so they would always have to call on a staff member. Something so simple that you and I, take advantage of probably on a day-to-day basis. And now with the support of technology, these individuals can do that independently. We think about tech in terms of all of these things that I just mentioned, but we also have a category of low tech things that we offer. So one of the individuals in this smart home doesn't have full mobility in her arms, but she always wanted to brush her hair. So finding a hairbrush that has a long handle so that she can do that independently has just, completely changed her world.
Wow. Wow.
We've also seen an effect of technology on staff efficiencies as well. So sometimes we monitor sleep for the individuals. Every 15 minutes, we would have to go in, pen and paper and check if they're sleeping. And of course, that's going to interrupt their sleep, right? But now they have sleep pads that can go under the mattress and track this. We have recently implemented a Medicube device, which gives the individuals their medication on a certain time. It sends them like a ping to their smartwatch. So just all things that are really saving on staff time on the administration level and allowing staff to really spend their time one-on-one with the individuals, going back to the heart of the mission to make their lives better. And just kind of wanted to wrap up with some ways that you can get involved with us. Of course, we have events throughout the year. Our annual gala in September at Granite Links. This year we are September 28th, so save the date if anybody's looking for a fun night out. We do a silent auction during that as well. So any of your product or services that you might consider donating to the silent auction is extremely helpful for us, as well as sponsorship for your company. If you have a company of your own or you know one that might be willing to have a conversation about hiring individuals with disabilities, that's extremely important to us. So whether you want somebody that's a little bit more independent and want to hire them individually, or maybe you could bring them in for some group employment opportunities as well. We also love to just have individuals kind of job explore. So if you don't have open positions, but you're willing to bring them into your place of employment and just help educate them, that's helpful as well. And just becoming aware of the work that we do and being able to help us spread our mission. You know, hearing my presentation today, being able to share with a friend later is extremely helpful to us, as well as following us on social media, keeping up with what we're up to, sharing our posts, just helping us spread the word and educate the community. So if anybody has any questions, I would be happy to take them. I would love to follow up on a one-on-one and just including a few links here, which Lynn, I can send you the slides for later if that's helpful as well.
Thank you very much, Erin. This has been absolutely fantastic, and I'm so glad that you, have been here with us today. I'm going to ask you to stop sharing your screen, and then we can go back to a gallery view. That would be fantastic. Does anyone have any questions for Erin while she's here? We do have just a couple more minutes before we have to leave at 9:30. So if anybody's got a question, just let us know.
Well, as the charity coordinator, I should pop on, and it's been great working with Erin. I'm so glad you could join, and I'm just getting a lot of feedback here, seeing just amazing work you're doing, and I do hope those positions do get filled, because how rewarding, I mean, compared to, going to a department store or, retail, or just, I really hope those positions get filled, and it's so amazing. But I do have follow-up, and I will be in touch. And Matthew, thank you so much for joining. And we look forward to you as our third quarter charity. Next is going to be Coop's Troop. They fund the needs of children with life-limiting diseases and special needs. I will put that in the chat, and thank you.
Erin, I have to say that was a fantastic presentation. We learned so much. And I have to say, this in the next newsletter, I have a little thought, that I share every newsletter. And my thought this month, this quarter rather, is going to be about the ripple effect of all of us doing that outreach for one another. And when you said that, that's all I thought of was, yes, let's make sure that we reach out, mention it to a friend, say that you saw this great presentation, and share that they have openings and that they're looking for some help, and also, just great volunteer opportunities there as well, and potentially employees. So it's a win-win situation, knowing Road to Responsibility. And thank you so much, Erin. So
can I just jump in really quick and say something about something that Erin said? Yes. So Erin was talking about how that that there's opportunities for people within the home, the homes and the people that they serve to have jobs. And something that I wanted to say, that I was talking with so I work with the Sickle Cell Consortium in Georgia, and one of the things that we were talking about related to people who are chronically ill, developmentally disabled, or developmentally or like had a stroke or something like that, is that the thing that as being a chronically ill person myself, and I'm guessing all of you know this too, you have never seen someone find more problem-solving ways to overcome something than someone who is not, the world is not set up for them, right? So like they have to find different ways to make things happen. And all companies are looking for people who know how to problem solve, right? So you've got this group of people who are brilliant problem solvers and this group of people who are looking for the problem solvers. And so one of the things that I think is really exciting about what you do, Erin, is that over the course of the next, as we develop over the next few years where technology is giving people so much more access, is that I think we're going to start to see more people think of how can I bring these people into my organization to help plug some of these holes, because they actually are the ones with the solution to the problems we have, not the people that maybe we've typically been hiring. So I love what you do. And so for anybody who is hiring, I really want you to think about the chronically ill, the developmentally disabled, things like that in a different way, because they have different problem solving skills than the rest of us do, which I found is just crazy brilliant.
Great. Thank you so much, Vanessa. So we've come to the end of our time. I want to take a quick photo while we have still some of us here. So everybody come back on the screen if you can, and be live with us for just a moment while we grab a quick screenshot. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, smile. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today. I have one last thought for you, and I think this is kind of a perfect thought for today. Don't be intimidated by what you don't know. That can be your greatest strength and ensure you do things differently from everyone else. So that was from Sarah Blakely, founder and CEO of Spanx. And she's got a very inspiring story. If you've never seen it, talk about determination and grit, just keeping at it until finding success. So connect with people that you met in the chat. I would love for some one-on-ones to happen and to start to hear that we're making those connections, reaching out and getting those ripples going. Thanks so much, and I'll see you at the SSWBN event in the future. Bye now. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Great morning, great morning. Awesome, thanks so much.